Welcome to episode 2 of Down the Movie Rabbit Hole with Alexis. If you didn't watch my channel intro video, here is a quick review. After each episode of Down the Rabbit Hole with Alexis, I will draw 2 random numbers for the actor in the closing credits and their movie catalog, and that will be the next movie reviewed on Down the Movie Rabbit Hole with Alexis. Instead of current movies or prescribed lists, we will follow the movie rabbit hole wherever it leads. We started with 2025's Weapons, and that led to today's movie, 2019's Hustlers. Lorene Scafaria's Hustlers isn't just a glossy heist movie about strippers scamming Wall Street men or a Robin Hood story of taking from the rich by the poor. It's a sharp, funny, and deeply political film about gender, labor, neoliberal capitalism, power and money, politics, laws, and the legal system, and the primal drive to survive. And beneath its pop soundtrack and glittering visuals lays a critique of how patriarchy, capitalism, and the law intersect to constrain women, regulate their bodies, and define acceptable opportunities. If the whole system is rigged, what does morality even mean? First, the gendered economy of capitalism. We start in 2007, peak Wall Street excess. The strip club is booming, the men are flush with bonus checks, and the women working the poles are, in a sense, entrepreneurs. The physical and financial exploitation by the gatekeepers at the club is the cost of doing business. Scafaria frames the club as a perfect metaphor for capitalism itself. Men purchase the illusion of control, women sell the illusion of desire. The protagonist, Constance Wu's Destiny, is new to the industry. For her, stripping is work, exhausting but transactional. Jennifer Lopez's Ramona understands the deeper hustle.
This city, not this whole country, is a strip club. You got people tossing the money and people doing the dance.
That line is the movie's thesis. Capitalism itself is a hustle, built on performance, persuasion, and exploitation. Everything changed in 2008. The financial crash buried Wall Street firms, but the men who caused it walk away with bailouts and no repercussions, while women like Destiny and Ramona are left scrambling to figure out how to make rent and put a meal on the table. Their decision to scam former clients isn't just criminal, it's symbolic, a kind of revenge fantasy, redistributing of wealth from the exploiters back to the exploited, but Scafaria doesn't romanticize it. Their scheme repeats the same predatory patterns of the system they're rebelling against. The women become mirrors of the men who destroyed them, and that's the film's tragedy. Second, patriarchy and performed power. Through its female-centered lens, Hustlers exposes the contradictions of empowerment under patriarchy. The strip club initially appears as a site of female agency, where women control male desire and earn substantial income. But that agency is contingent on men's willingness to pay. Power here is performative, conditional, and precarious. Ramona and Destiny's partnership temporarily subverts that imbalance. Together, they construct an all-female economy of exploitation, reversing gendered roles by turning male clients into marks. However, the illusion of control is fragile. Their power depends on the very systems, beauty, youth, sexuality, that capitalism and patriarchy commodify. As the women age, lose clients, or grow desperate, their power evaporates, revealing that even rebellion operates within patriarchal boundaries. The film's visual language supports this critique. Early sequences bathe the women in gold light, almost mythologizing their labor. Later scenes become colder and fragmented, visually underscoring how their sense of control dissolves as moral and legal consequences close in. Third, performing power, performing gender. Everything in Hustlers is performance. The strip club is a literal stage, but so are the courtroom, the mall, the family kitchen. Everyone's playing a role. Scafaria's camera is crucial here. She doesn't shoot the dancers through a male gaze. The bodies on stage aren't objects of fantasy, but subjects of labor. The choreography is athletic, strategic, even communal. We see the backstage world, hairspray, bruised knees, laughter, exhaustion. There's a sense that the real performance isn't seduction, it's survival. One of the most iconic moments comes when Ramona wraps her giant fur coat around Destiny. It's tender, almost maternal. A gesture of protection, but also initiation. That coat becomes symbolic of Ramona's entire ethos, comfort and danger wrapped together. She's saying, if the world's going to take from you, take back more. Fourth, the child of the hustle, stigma, motherhood, and shame. Nowhere does Scafaria's critique hit harder than in Destiny's motherhood arc. and the quiet, almost invisible judgment that comes with it. After Destiny has her daughter, she tries to build a more respectable life. There's this brief but devastating moment when she's dropping her child off at school, and you see the other mothers whispering about her. You feel how heavy that silence is. In that one scene, Scafaria captures how sex work is treated not as labor, but as moral failure, and how motherhood becomes a site of surveillance for working-class women. From a child development perspective, the implications are haunting. Children of sex workers, or really of any stigmatized laborer, often internalize the shame society projects onto their parents. Destiny's anxiety about being found out isn't just about her. It's about protecting her daughter from the cruelty of respectability politics. The irony is that she hustled in the first place for her child to give her stability, education, safety, but the very world she tried to buy her way into rejects her. It's Scafaria's way of saying economic survival doesn't erase structural stigma. The hustle never really ends because the finish line never stops moving. Fifth, the law as performance. In the final act, when the women face arrest, Scafaria reframes the justice system as yet another performance space. The same men who collapse the economy walk free. These women are punished for using the same tools: manipulation, greed, performance, but without institutional protection. Ramona poses for her mugshot with poise, almost dignity. Destiny, terrified, takes the deal. Both reactions are valid. Two survival modes in a world where the law is just another hustle, one tilted in favor of men, money, and power. When Ramona carefully folds her fur coat in the last scene, it's almost ritualistic. She's not defeated, she's measured. She's still performing strength, because in this system, that's all a woman can do. 6. The morality of survival. Hustlers refuses simple moral labels. It's not saying crime is bad or crime is empowerment. It's saying, look at the system that made this feel like the only option. What choices would be made in a world with basic minimum income or public daycare or acts that can crash an economy were criminalized? Scafaria's tone is brilliantly ambiguous, vibrant, funny, heartbreaking. The film seduces you with glamour and then reminds you that you're complicit in the same capitalist fantasies it's critiquing. By the end, the hustle isn't just what Destiny and Ramona do, it's what everyone does. Wall Street traders, suburban moms, influencers, politicians, everyone's performing, selling, surviving. And that's Scafaria's most radical insight. In America, hustling isn't deviance. It's the national condition. And for women, especially mothers, workers, and outsiders, survival itself becomes an act of rebellion. Let me know what you think of hustlers in the comments. Would stripping exist, or what would the business model look like if there was a universal basic income? Would it still be as predatory? Would Destiny choose to strip? Does Ramona's outlook on life still apply in the same way? People are tossing money or doing the dance? Or does neoliberal capitalism have it right? Survival of the fittest. If the mostly men who crashed the economy in 2008 were not held accountable, are Ramona and Destiny's crimes any more crime-worthy? Only one caused millions to become unemployed, foreclosed on, and worse. Our adventure down the movie rabbit hole continues. I asked ChatGPT for random numbers 1 to 10 for the actor in the closing credits and 1 to 5 for their film credits. The first number, 8, is for Vanessa Aspalaga, the 8th name. The second number, 3, is for her third most recent film, A Journal for Jordan. Before losing his life in Baghdad, First Sergeant Charles Monroe King authors a journal for his son intended to tell him how to live a decent life despite growing up without a father. Directed by the great Denzel Washington and starring Michael B. Jordan, Shantae Adams, and Jalen Christian. This true story sounds like an amazing journey. So, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next showtime, and I will see you down the rabbit hole.